Hey guys, and welcome to my channel. So for this review, I'm getting very spoiler heavy. Obviously the movie's been out for a while, so I'm sure you guys have all seen it, but we're gonna talk about Spider-Man Homecoming. I have not been shy about the fact that I was very skeptical, very cautious with this movie. I wasn't sure whether or not I was going to like it. It does have a much younger Spider-Man. He's in high school, and I didn't know how I felt about that because honestly, I've grown up like watching Spider-Man and the 90s animated series, and that Spider-Man was much older. So that's the Spider-Man that I know was in the 90s. And this one, I don't know. From Civil War, I didn't really like his character as much. He didn't have quite the banter that I was used to Spider-Man having, even in the older films, the Amazing Spider-Man, and to some extent the Raimi Spider-Man series. He had a lot of banter that he did to play off and to kind of, irritate the villains, get inside their heads. It's where Deadpool kind of gets his sarcastic wit. So, or maybe it's the other way around. I can't remember. No, I know. But the thing is, I just wasn't sure about this. The trailers didn't do anything to convince me. I wasn't sold, but I wanted to give it a shot. So I wanted to go in, open mind, hope for the best, that this movie would be good. And is this movie good? No. No, not really, no. This movie's fine, but that's all it is for me. I know a lot of people are praising this movie out there. Some people are saying like it's the best Spider-Man movie since, Spider-Man 2. Or some people are saying, "Oh, it's the best one," and that's cool. That's cool you guys think that. But for me, I don't. And that's why this is a spoiler review, because I'm going to get into some of why I don't. Let's start with the title. The title of the movie is called Homecoming. The movie itself it kind of has this whole thing building up to Homecoming. It's on and off again, right? But Homecoming's it's what it's leading towards, what the movie's progressing towards. And it doesn't actually pay off, because as much as they somewhat try to incorporate it as being something of a big deal, it doesn't get much focus time. And when it actually comes down to the night of Homecoming, when everything goes like it's supposed to play out, shit hits the fan. Spider-Man has to go, and he doesn't ever return to the Homecoming dance. So why was it called this? Why was the title? How's the title work? The title doesn't work for me. It felt like it just picked something in the movie and was like, okay, we'll name it this. So the title didn't have any form of payoff. Where it say, let's compare it to X-Men Days of Future Past. That title is perfect for the story that it's telling. It encompasses the whole story. Perfect. Captain America's Civil War, even though I don't consider it much of the Civil War storyline, does it try to incorporate that in the film? Does it become a central piece to the film? Yes. So this one, by comparison, not so much. So I had a problem with that. And we'll go with the casting, because I do have quite the problem with the casting. We'll start with Tom Holland as Peter Parker, Spider-Man. I do like him as, I'll say this. I like all these people as just people, as actors, actresses. So I don't really have anything against them there. But for this rendition of Spider-Man, Peter Parker, I didn't like it. He had some minor jokes here or there, but he didn't really have the jokes. He was too heavy on pulling to try to get Tony's approval, to try to get onto the Avengers team. Like, that was such a big focus of him, that he was being stupid and like cutting off school and everything entirely. He was choosing to cut off school so that he would, because he thought this is what he wants. And I get that it's supposed to be a kid, kind of how a kid would look at it, but A, he's a teenager, and B, he seems like he's supposed to be a smart character. So being smart a character and doing stupid things like that, I I don't know. I don't quite buy into it. Also, there seems to be a lack of spider sense in this movie. I know people have told me, "Oh, it's in Civil War. It's in Civil War." That's great. It was in Civil War. That's not this movie. I did not see it in this movie at all. And they even talked about how that wasn't really a focus in this movie, but they might bring it back. That was Kevin Feige and the director, who, forgive me, I don't remember off the top of my head. So I had problems like that with Spider-Man, and I have problems with the suit because the suit, while it looks like the classic suit, doesn't act at all like the classic suit. And again, most of the jokes in favor of Spider-Man were laughing at him and not, laughing at something he said. That's not the same with the character, so I don't agree with that. Tony Stark was a bit of an asshole, well, quite the asshole in this movie. Didn't seem like he learned anything from the last movies. Happy Hogan was also a major asshole in this movie. So they didn't really do anything. They were just kind of the antagonists of the films, which were ridiculous. Zendaya as Michelle. I actually like the Michelle character. What I don't like is the MJ notion at the end of it. I don't like that. It's like they're replacing MJ now with Michelle, and if they just had Michelle be her own character, that's fine. But they're like, oh no, she's not MJ. MJ could still show up and have the same nickname MJ. That's gonna feel weird. You deliberately did that, so you had like a scapegoat. I feel like so. I didn't like that. I thought that was misplaced. It felt completely out of place. I thought Ned was fine. I thought Donald Glover as Aaron Davis was wasted. I get that he's the uncle to Miles Morales, but that didn't do anything here. Liz was not much of a character at all, so she didn't really have anything going. Tony Revolori as the Flash didn't encompass anything to do with the Flash. He wasn't, aside from saying, what was it, Penis Parker or something like that, and slapping his butt once. He was nothing. He was like supposedly a smart guy, but he's an idiot. So I don't know how that worked at all. He didn't feel like much of the bully aspect at all, the imposing bully or anything like that. They tried to go with something that was a change of the times, but I just disagree overall with that notion and how they carried it out. So very miscast to me. And back to Michelle real quick, MJ. Michelle encompasses nothing of what MJ does. They're completely different characters. That's why I don't like the MJ nod. And that's what that was. And I didn't appreciate that. Shocker was a complete waste in this movie. Again, not really anything like Shocker. Didn't really have anything like Shocker. Encompass any of the weapons. It didn't feel anything like Shocker. And they kind of, did the whole kill him and then, oh no, it's this guy's Shocker. And that takes away even more from, albeit a minor villain, but kind of one of the standouts on the minor villains. Scorpion was in this, but Scorpion was just a punk, so I don't understand like what the deal was with him. Michael Keaton gives the best performance as Vulture. Many people are saying he's the best villain since you have why am I going blank? Since Loki, I can't remember his name for some reason, but since Loki, he's the best villain, and I'll grant you that he is, but that's not really saying a whole lot because the MCU is very poor on their villains. I think his motivations should have been fleshed out more. I know a lot of people buy into it, but he doesn't have much screen time to actually give his motivations at all. It's just a very brief thing in the beginning that has flaws to it, I feel like, because it's like, okay, so you got let go of these jobs of doing something that you wouldn't have done in a normal situation anyway, so you should have had other jobs you could do. So I don't understand how, that's the man putting you down there. I don't get all that per se. And I don't know. There's some really cool moments with him in the car. Again, I think Michael Keaton delivers the best performance that he can. I think he does a good job. I feel like there wasn't as much to the villain, again, as people are letting on. I didn't feel like it paid off as well. And the final act kind of ends odd. It's very unfulfilling how their final battle kind of goes down. So I didn't care for that. Most of the humor didn't work for me. Even though I know it was humor, it didn't really work for me. Again, I don't like Spider-Man's suit and how he can just come up with the web designs, like all these web strategies and everything, because the suit allows him to do that. I don't like that. That takes away some of the genius that Spider-Man had, was being able to come up with these configurations based purely on this simple blaster thing that he did. So I don't know. I'm sure there's a lot more that I'm missing, but I don't like all that stuff. I feel like that really weighs the film down far too much. Even May Parker seemed like she was more or less the butt of jokes surrounding her looks than she was anything else, contributing to the film. So I don't feel like even that paid off. Even her thing paid off. And Uncle Ben was kind of just mentioned offhand once, but he's no longer. It feels like he's no longer the drive, or actually he wasn't the drive in this movie for Spider-Man to be Spider-Man, and that's not how he should have started being Spider-Man in Civil War. That's not how he should continue being Spider-Man here. It feels like they took that because they were like, oh, well, it's been done before, and they completely pushed it out because it's like, oh, well, since we've already done it, we don't want to do it again. We don't want to repeat ourselves a third time, but there's elements that you should do that with. There's things that you should incorporate a third time. You have to go the origin story. That's fine. But there's things that drive Peter. There's things that influence his character. There's things that are, crucial to some of these characters that was lacking from all of them. So this movie felt like it just wasn't that well done, to be honest. Even the CG sometimes was a little off, though sometimes it was really good. Vulture in particular was really good. But I just feel like this movie, I don't know. I feel like it didn't quite know what it wanted to do. And it just didn't seem like it succeeded on any major aspects for me. It just felt like a bland, generic kind of Marvel movie. So for giving it a rating 1 through 10 at the moment, I'm going to give it a straight 5 out of 10. I can't go any higher and I can't go any lower. I won't be buying this movie. And there's more points I can get into, but obviously this is going to be one of the longest reviews, hopefully one of the longest reviews, because I don't intend to do long reviews that often that I've done. So I don't want to, I don't want to mess with that too much. But what did you guys think about it? I'm sure I'm probably in the minority here. Maybe I have at least, provided some points that you can agree with, even if you like the movie overall. Maybe not. I don't know. Go ahead and let me know what you think in the comments below. Hopefully you enjoyed hearing me review this, and if so, click that like button, share, subscribe to my channel, and watch my other vids. I do appreciate it. And until next time, peace.